An ambulance arrives at the hospital with a pregnant woman named Anne and a concerned husband inside. From her body smoke comes out signs that she was hit by lightning, and the husband is worried as his wife does not move anymore. As the pregnant woman is carried inside the hospital, one nurse stands and looks at the sky as it rains with heavy drops. The doctor comes out to deliver the news to the husband. The doctor tells him that his mother died and his son is born different and suffers from albinism, and also that the child shares the suffering of his mother. Craig, the father of the boy, comes to see his son but denies him as his son. Doing so, the boy begins to cry more. Thus years pass and the boy grows without a father and mother. A sheriff called Barnum and a woman named Jessie come to see him. Barnum called Jessie as he was concerned for the boy that he found in the basement. It seems that the old man hid the boy in his basement for years until he died of a heart attack. Barnum and Jessie go down to the basement. They ask the boy for his name and he says Jeremy Reed. Jeremy demonstrates to the woman his incredible memory by reciting a random page from the book. She then suggests taking an IQ test, to which the boy agrees. The sheriff sees many lightning rods on top of the house, and his colleague Duncan suggests that the boy may have electrocuted the old man that was caring for him, as the doctors said that the heart of the old man showed signs of electrocution. Jeremy is taken from the shelter and he arrives in another shelter where he becomes the target of bullies. John the bully tells Jeremy that on his first day at the shelter he has to place a spoon on his nose as his friend Mitch in his demonstration. Jeremy does so but applies more energy and collects all the spoons from the canteen. Many are surprised, but John is pissed off. Barnum comes home to find his son Stephen walking away. Both pass without saying a word. Barnum enters the house to check on his wife, who is dying of cancer. Maxine, the caretaker of his wife, tells him that his son left for his mom a silver box. The next day Jeremy is checked out by the doctor and receives a clean bill of health. Jessie asks Jeremy if he would like to go to school and he accepts. At the science class, the professor, Mr. Ripley, is teaching about electricity, but as he powers the device, its energy seems to be amplified by Jeremy, resulting in a current that travels across the room into the boy and back inside the machine. The energy is so strong that lifts Jeremy into the air. Mr. Ripley destroys the machine and Jeremy falls down. He then touches the boy in order to check if he is fine, but he gets hairs and starts to stand up, and he seems to enter into a deep trance for a few seconds. Mr. Ripley explains to the doctor what happened, but the doctor does not believe him. Also, Ripley said that in fact the boy is undergoing electrolysis and that is why he does not have pigmentation on his skin. The nurse informs them that Jeremy has run away from the hospital. Jeremy does not get far as Barnum waits for him outside the city limit. Barnum asks the boy why is he so afraid of hospitals, and Jeremy tells him that the worst day of his life happened in a hospital, the day of his birth. Back at the shelter, he is called inside a conference room where the chairman, Dr. Stipler, tells him that his IQ is so high that there is no classification for his level. Jeremy says that he just wants to back to his grandfather's house, but is informed that now the bank owns the house. The next day Barnum takes the kids from the shelter to a field trip. Jeremy sat far from the group and was joined by Barnum. The boy tells him that a thunderstorm is coming and he feels the storm inside of him and asks him if he believes in God. Barnum said no. The next day John the bully and his friend Mitch come behind Jeremy, but he notices them and tells them to come out. John threatens Jeremy with his gun, but their discussion is interrupted by gunfire in the distance. The boys rush to the noise to find a deer that was shot by Officer Duncan. Jeremy then touches the deer and transfers part of her pain to Duncan, who is so happy to shoot her early on. John the bully shoots at Jeremy, but Mitch intervenes and he misses his target. Later on, Jessie asks Jeremy what happened in the woods and she tells him that she is his friend, but he does not believe that friends don't keep friends locked up, and as Jeremy says, electricity sparks and glass breaks. Barnum returns home and finds out from Dr. Wayne that his wife's condition has worsened. Back at the shelter, Mr. Ripley tells Jeremy that when he touched him he felt like a surge of energy traveled in his body and he felt like he was 20 all over again. Ripley believes that an event from the past made Jeremy able to unlock 100% of his brain. The next day Barnum visits Duncan and discovers that he got rid of all his guns. Duncan tells him that when he was touched by Jeremy he felt all that the deer felt. This event gives Barnum an idea, and he takes Jeremy to his wife in hopes that he can find out why she still tries to be alive so much and suffers. Jeremy tells Barnum that she is struggling to be alive because Barnum is not talking with his son Stephen. Then through Jeremy, she says that when they lost the wedding ring, Stephen as a child was looking for days into the snow for it and asks Barnum to open the silver box. Inside of it was the wedding ring. Jeremy goes on a date with Lindsay at the county fair. He kisses her, but her dad steps in and talks very bad to him. Jeremy decides to go back to his grandfather's house, but stops at the gym where John the bully takes his hat and mocks him. As he is touched, Jeremy sees that John the bully went through the same thing with his alcoholic dad, and the result was a beating so severe that John could not go to school for a few days. Hearing this, John the bully strips naked in an attempt to humiliate him, but they get struck by a magnetic pulse from Jeremy's body. John the bully is on the ground and Jeremy brings him back to life. Jeremy then goes back to his grandfather's house where he finds that his books are gone. Jesse meets him there and promises to find him a better place. As they go out, they see Barnum and Duncan come to arrest Jeremy. Jesse pleads for Jeremy and Barnum agrees to help. Then Jeremy says that he felt the energy of his dead wife leaving somewhere, and Barnum agrees as he now believes in the afterlife. Jeremy then runs into the field and lets the lightning strike him. As he gets struck, a powerful energy leaves his body and he seems to disappear. After seeing this, Barnum begins to cry in happiness as he now believes that something is there after life.